You're not reading that title incorrectly. I'm about to talk about something that's not well known outside of Guatemala. But basically in Guatemala there is a black Guatemalan Jesus. Not black in like African or African American or Afro Latino or anything like that. Just the fact that his skin is uh black, and he's called El Cristo Negro de Esquipulas. And yeah, so basically um the story goes, this is a legend and there are many other alternate stories, but basically um you know, a Spanish priest went in to this place, and I think they were like dedicating the cathedral or something like that. And he was building them an idol, Jesus, the crucifix. And um as he was building it, supposedly one day, miraculously, it it turned brown. Some versions say there was like a fire, and all the soot got on it, and so it turned black. But honestly, what was more than likely was that the priest asked them what color they wanted Jesus to be, and they told him that they wanted Jesus to be dark, like they were dark. Um, and so the priest did do that, but this black Jesus has an entire cult around it. And I've actually I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm gonna see if I can find pictures, and I'll put it in like a community post if I can find them. Um but yeah, so yeah, the indigenous people and the mixed people, the mestizos, have developed a cult around this black Christ. Um and honestly, it's probably black because they conflated it with one of the Mayan earth gods. I think in Esquipulas, which is part of Chiquimula, um, they have the Chorti Maya there, and so one of their earth gods got displaced, and they're like, oh, we'll just combine the two together, and so that's why he's black or brown. Um, and this cult eventually spread all the way to the predominantly Hispanic American parts of the US and Mexico, and that to me just seems wild, right? Because that's a Mayan god. That's just a Mayan god disguised as a Christian god, but that's a Mayan god, bro. That's how they preserve the worship of that Mayan god. And here's the funny thing. Even my great grandfather, now my great grandfather could pass as a European, and he was very assimilated. He was in the Guatemalan uh government, and he did a whole bunch of the stuff there, and he was very much rah 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 progress, rah 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 capitalism, rah 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 liberalism type of dude. And he was, quite rare for his time, really. Almost completely secular. He was a Freemason. He was like he had this sort of deistic conception of God, but the Catholicism stuff was more cultural for him. It's like, oh, we've done this for years. Um and so that we're gonna keep doing it for years. But the funny thing about him was that even though he was not that religious, really, he had such a strong devotion to the Black Christ, el Cristo Negro. And like, that's crazy to me that a quote unquote, you know, Ladino, quote unquote, mixed white man would have in his family preserved the worship of a Mayan god secretly for so long. It honestly reminds me of the conversos, the the Jews in Spain who were forced to convert, but they kept up some of their traditions and practices. It reminds me of that, and that was in my family, and it's just so, excuse me, weird that that would happen with him. That's wild for me to think about. Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting story. I don't think there's any mention of El Cristo Negro in English on YouTube, and so I just wanted to to shine some light on it because it's part of my culture. All right, bye.